Welcome to Cops Uncut, the show that puts you in the driving seat of America's fight against crime. And gets you up close and personal with the mad, bad and dangerous to know that roam America's highways. Coming up on Cops Uncut, cops turn this highway into their very own pinball machine. This motorist's attempt to suffer whiplash comes a little too late.
What the? Hey, stop banging your head!
And a giant cop has a few words of advice for this little lady.
You have the right to remain silent. Shut your mouth.
Welcome to Rockville, Maryland, where police are in pursuit of a stolen Ford Escape. Though this one clearly isn't living up to its name. Maybe they should have bought the Nissan Clean Getaway.
Yeah, but he's not stopping.
It was taken earlier in the day in a terrifying armed carjacking by a band of 3 teenagers. The police consider them armed and extremely dangerous. As the thieves come to realise their latest money-making venture may end up costing them big time, they become desperate and speed through a residential area, putting the lives of innocent bystanders in peril. Although, to be honest, if you're standing on the sidewalk in the dark, staring at the road, maybe you've got bigger problems. But before they get a chance to put a stop to these prepubescent pilferers, fate steps in the way. What does stop these kids is not a daring police manoeuvre, or a dramatic crash, or even puberty. No, these half-wits try to cross a half-bridge with only one lane and get cornered.
We're heading over the bridge. He's going to hit a vehicle or bail out on the bridge. There's a vehicle there.
By a taxi coming the other way. Their solution, hit reverse.
Oh, shit!
Their 4x4 momentarily goes off-road and then back on-road, upside down. With one gear change, this Ford Escape turns into a Ford can't get out.
Stand by.
Okay, just keep them in on the
Oh, shit!
All 3 were apprehended and the driver was charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault as well as malicious destruction of property. His bail bond exceeded $750,000, as did the taxi fare of the guy stuck on the bridge. Of course, in most cases, the police can't rely on the bad guys making a mistake. They have to call upon their many years of experience and training. These officers from Douglasville, Georgia, are trying to stop a Lincoln Continental. The fugitive motorist isn't just driving way too fast, he's weaving in and out of traffic and being an all-round menace to Georgia commuters. Even though it's a busy road, this guy needs to be stopped, and cops are going straight for the manoeuvre that's usually the last resort. One of the patrol cars is going to try to cause the Lincoln to spin out of control, hopefully without hitting anything else. But there's the crash course, and then there's the crash. OK, so sometimes it can make a bigger mess of the highway than the chase did. And it doesn't always work. But it has put an expiry date on this pursuit, and the police soon get their man. And half of Georgia have a good excuse when they get to work late that morning. Stopping a car at speed is hazardous work. But when you've no idea who you're going to pull over, a simple traffic stop can be even more dangerous. This veteran officer, who served 22 years in the police department, has just stopped a car because the driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Hope you don't have your seatbelt on.
But 22 years of experience still isn't enough to prepare him for what happens this time.
Can you put the car apart for me? Right, great.
The owners can't produce registration details of the car.
Is this your vehicle or a rental vehicle?
They claim that it's rented, but can't remember where from.
Okay, do you have the rental papers?
The mood becomes tense.
Okay. Where do you think the rental papers are? Okay. All right. Hang on a second.
The simple seatbelt violation seems to be making them very nervous.
Who rented the vehicle? His mom did? Do you know where the rental papers are?
The officer is put on his guard.
How come you have handcuffs down there? Okay, wait out here for me, okay? Just wait right over there. Thank you.
When he returns to his car to check the vehicle's details, he turns down the audio on his dash cam. But before the details come back and he realises the danger he's in, the passenger comes out of the car for a chat. Now these are no ordinary motorists out for a Sunday drive. This unfortunate officer has inadvertently stopped a car being driven by an armed robber. And if that's not bad enough, he's also just broken his friend out of prison. And they're both on the run. The officer still doesn't realise the seriousness of the situation he's in. This passenger didn't come over to talk. He came to make sure the trooper was alone. And he returns with a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson, which they stole from a prison guard. The convict unloads 5 rounds at the unlucky officer. And they both make off for their getaway car, satisfied that they put an end to the man's life. But if 22 years in the force had taught this trooper anything, it's to make sure to put on his body armour every morning. Although he was hit by all 5 bullets, the 2 critical rounds were stopped by his vest, which saved his life.
Okay, microphone's back on. Help me.
He's still been pierced by 3 bullets, though, and the situation remains serious.
Hey, Mark, come here, calm down, okay? Okay, all right, listen, you gotta breathe slow, okay? You gotta breathe slow for me, okay?
The officer is rushed to hospital and has a long way to go before fully recovering. His 2 assailants were caught an hour later and charged with attempted murder. Their bond was set at $3 million each. Some people just can't handle being pulled over. This Orlando, Florida motorist has just been arrested after very nearly driving his vehicle into a patrol car. But he thinks police just pulled him over to steal the $14,000 he had on his passenger seat.
Grabbing my money, huh? No, we're grabbing my money? Officer? You got my money?
We're giving it to you, bro.
You got money? Hey, document that money, bitch.
All that money seems to have gone to his head, pushing out what brains he had to begin with.
Stealing my money.
What's up?
Hey, stop banging your head.
But the worrying thing isn't that this guy thinks the police need a blood sample as well as his name and address.
Blood.
It's what he does for a living.
Take me to the hospital.
Alongside the $14,000 in his car, he also has 2 handguns and a large collection of pills, as well as an additional 40 grand stuffed into his pockets. So you'd be forgiven for thinking he was the head of an international drug syndicate.
Hey!
But no. When he's not flipping out in the back of a police car,
Stop stealing my money!
kicking officers,
Stop stealing my
and shouting incoherently about money that seems to be billowing out of his pockets.
officers stealing my money!
He works as a doctor, an anesthetist in Broward County.
Stop! Knock it off!
You'd think he'd know how to knock himself out.
Real embarrassing.
If doctors should heal themselves, then cops should arrest themselves, shouldn't they? These officers in Charleston, South Carolina, have just caught a car speeding past other motorists using the Central Reservation. They pull the driver over and are gobsmacked to discover that she's an off-duty cop.
Are you passing cars with the medium?
Well, you know what? When they're going less than the speed limit, I think I can pass them.
She can't seem to understand that being a police officer doesn't mean it's okay to do 65 when the limit is 40.
I'm a police officer. I've been doing this for 8 years. I know how it works.
15 years, okay? And you have no
Want to fight about how long you go?
She seems to think that being a cop gives her the right to break all the rules, including the one about staying put.
Ma'am, get in the vehicle.
Stop! Shut up!
Get in the vehicle or I'm going to take you to jail.
Clearly, 8 years in the force hasn't taught her that this is something you should never, ever do.
He's taking me to jail!
You get your phone call after you've been arrested. After giving us an example of her own policing style.
You know what? If I pulled another police officer over for speeding, I would be like, you know what? Take it easy. See you later. Have a good night. As soon as they show me a badge, I don't care.
She threatens to sue.
See this fat lip? That's going to be argued in court. My husband gets here. I have a bigger problem.
Not one of South Carolina's finest.
I am a police officer. I know the law.
White Earth, Minnesota. And a quiet gas station. Perhaps a little too quiet. Until the driver of this SUV was in some rush to pay for his petrol. But while his eagerness only resulted in damaged property, the eagerness of a truck driver in Mount Dora, Florida, had much more severe consequences. This officer is about to make his way through a busy intersection, but doesn't see a truck barreling towards him from his left, jumping the red light, until it's way too late. The truck was fully loaded with gravel and weighed more than 10 times that of the cop's patrol car. Fortunately, the trooper escaped with only a broken arm. And if his back seat is anything to go by, a lifetime supply of gravel.
Sir, can you hear me? Shit.
Jumping a red light is always dangerous, but sometimes the emergency services have no choice. That's why they have flashing lights and loud sirens. And when you see flashing lights and hear loud sirens, you're supposed to yield.
That's red light. That's red light, Steve.
Which is exactly what this driver in Escambia County, Florida, didn't do. She was hit by an ambulance traveling at full speed.
That's red light. That's red light, Steve.
Which was lucky for her because an ambulance was exactly what she needed at that moment. Once she'd recovered, she was hit once again, this time with a ticket for not giving the ambulance the right of way. Here are some tips on how to really annoy the police from Warner Robins, Georgia. Tip 1, ignore the fact that they're on your tail.
Still going through Publix parking lot trying to get them to stop.
Tip 2, carry on the act, even if they switch on their sirens.
Still rolling. All right, 10-8.
And tip 3 is to speed off, assuming you'll be able to outrun trained, experienced officers. But the lady in this pickup isn't done yet. No, she's going to give us a masterclass in being a police nuisance. Further down the road, she unrolls her window and throws something out.
All right, look like you're throwing something out the window. Coming up on Magnolia Hills now.
Meaning police will have to return later to scour the entire area. Yeah, that's not going to annoy them. Then she cuts a red light and weaves through traffic.
South on 41, south on 41, blew the red light.
So by now, the police are really mad.
351, come up beside me, let's box them.
They catch up to her, blockade her, and force her off the road. But she's not done annoying them yet, she denies any wrongdoing.
Now where she threw the stuff out the window.
My windows don't come down, sir. The windows was up.
The cops have some simple words of advice.
You have the right to remain silent. Shut your mouth.
The police never know what to expect when they pull someone over.
We're stopping right here at Wani Road.
This driver is stopped because she was speeding.
What's the smell of alcohol other than this ice house right here?
But it soon becomes clear she's got something to hide.
You don't have anything in here with your name on it? You have a credit card, nothing at all? Library card? Something's not right with that.
The cops run a check of her plates.
That vehicle's going to be 1099.
1099 means it's wanted or stolen.
Turn the car off.
Within a few seconds, this lady has reached speeds of 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna take her out.
And she's about to approach a built-up area.
If she gets any closer to the city without slowing down, I'm not gonna have a choice.
The police decide to use the pit maneuver, which will immobilize this driver by nudging her car momentarily out of control.
Lady, slow down, please.
It's a dangerous option at the best of times. And at night and at these speeds, it's clearly not the best of times. Fortunately, the maneuver works.
Radio, I just took her out right here at Wilson Road.
Even if nearly getting the renegade driver crushed by an 18-wheeler wasn't part of the plan. But this motorist still doesn't seem keen to cooperate with the police and needs a little more persuasion.
Watch out.
A taser does the trick every time.
Come out through the window!
Come out through the window now.
Sometimes speeding cars aren't always trying to get away from the police, at least not at first. Like this incident in Montgomery County, Texas. Police spot a black car running a stop sign. And the cops soon learn why he's in such a hurry. It belongs to an ex-husband who's just tried to smash through the front door of a house to reach his estranged wife. But the driver isn't the ex-husband, it's another man who seems very keen to put some distance between them for good reason. He was inside the house, not to mention the estranged wife when the ex-husband came knocking. Figuring the ex-husband was about as mad as he was going to get, the stranger then stole his car. And now he's putting the car through its paces, much like he did the ex-wife. He must be exhausted. The chase climaxes deep in a forest, and it's only when police finally apprehend the man that they understand just how quickly he made his quick exit. Still, given the circumstances, jail's probably the safest place he could be right now, though he'd be grateful for some trousers when he gets there.
Copy.
The worst thing you can do when you hear the police sirens calling is panic, which is exactly what this guy from Converse, Texas did when police spotted him driving at marginally above the speed limit. But instead of pulling over for what could have been just a slap on the wrist, he puts his pedal to the metal and hits 90 miles an hour. Within seconds, he's gone from marginally over the speed limit to more than twice the speed limit. The reason? He thinks the police are after him because of an outstanding warrant. They're not. He wasn't even on their radar. But he is now. Instead of getting away with a slap on the wrist, he's now not getting away with an ever-growing list of violations and felonies. Not smart. In sheer blind panic, he crashes through a cattle gate, runs out of road, and jumps over the edge of a cliff. Amazingly, he manages to evade arrest. But only for a little while, because he was helpful enough to leave his ID in the truck. It didn't take much detective work before they could simply turn up at this guy's office the next day and arrest him there instead. Now, how's this for ingratitude? Police are pulling over this truck for speeding in Woodhaven, Michigan. But as it stops, the driver frantically signals to the cops, claiming that his female passenger is having an asthma attack. The police offer to help get her medical attention. At which point, the truck driver takes off, presumably to rush her to hospital himself. But don't hold your breath on that one. Now, if your passenger is having an asthma attack, a breathless race through busy suburban streets isn't going to make her feel any better, unless you're an ambulance. And the sound of multiple sirens bearing down on her won't be doing anything to help either, unless they're paramedics. And then, when one of the wheels falls off your truck, well, that's just not what the doctor ordered in any sense. It's only a matter of time until this chase runs short of breath and wheezes to a stop. But the couple still feel well enough to run off on foot. After finding a stolen purse inside the truck, police arrested the man, who probably had a seizure and asked to be taken to hospital. This time, officers arranged the transportation. So, what have we learned today on Cops Uncut? Most doctors wouldn't recommend this as the best way to numb the pain.
Knock it off!
Cops may claim to know the law, but they don't always obey it. And a well-prepared escape plan means you won't have to cross that bridge when you come to it.
Oh, shit!